Hey, this is Melissa. Welcome to year 3, week 10 of my $100,000 stock experiment ending June 19th, 2020. I'm not giving stock advice. I'm just sharing what I'm buying and selling and letting you see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and celebrate my successes. According to the IBD at investors.com, the market is still in a confirmed uptrend. The S&P 500 is moving up. I took off some of my lower bars that aren't important anymore. I drew these lines to help me see where I think this index is having support and resistance. I added the white line this week, which I had originally put on this index chart on 3/6. At number 1, you can see that the price had come up to that point. Sometimes it went over and then it went back below, but it spent several weeks hovering around that price. Again, at number 2, there were some points where this index looked like it was climbing back up and then it hit that almost like a ceiling. It couldn't get over that point. And now at number 3, it went above it, and in the past 4 days, it's been hovering right around that price. The volatility index ended the week at 35.12. I like this to be between 12 and 16, so it's high for me, but not as high as it was a few months ago. I did make 7 new purchases this week, which surprised me. I did not think that I would do that when I recorded my series last week. One of the things I look at every week is my average weekly gain. This is just on a spreadsheet. It's the column with all the colors, with the green, which is when it's above 1%, the yellow between 0 and 1%, and then the red when it's less than 1%. And the stocks are in order of the oldest on the top. So number 1, Adobe, I have a B1 and a B2 in that, and it's green for the average weekly gain, which is great. Blackline, I have 3 buys in that, and all of those are in the green, making more than 1% per week, which is like what I like to see. A mode, INMD, that one is my loser stock. Even though it's up, it's not up an average of 1% a week. So if I was going to sell something, that is one that I would consider selling, but it's also an IPO stock. So we'll have to see. It's pretty volatile. It had been up nicely and then it's back down. So we'll see what happens there. The other 3 that I've held for more than a week, Ping, Livongo Health, and Nvidia, those ones are all up over 1% a week. And then the ones at the bottom, those are all my new purchases. And while I do have several in red, it does take a week or 2 to get my stocks moving along. I'm not the greatest at timing the perfect time to buy. They do seem to go down a little when I purchase them. So I'm not concerned about any of those yet. Every time I purchase a stock, I put a stop limit order as my floor. Initially, it's 8% below my purchase price. AMD, I bought this on Tuesday. I'm down 1.7%, just had it the 4 days, and I did leave my floor at 8%. This is one of my chip stocks, and it is just struggling to get out of the sideways pattern. Shockwave Medical, I'm showing you a 2-year chart on this. I had purchased this stock before in another account that I have. I held it from April 26, 2019 to June 24, 2019 for 8.5 weeks, and I made 36.8%. I purchased it where that green arrow is, and I sold where that red arrow is. I wanted to show this 2-year view because sometimes it's nice to be in a stock, get out of it for a while, and then consider getting back in it. So I did get back in it on Thursday. I've held it just the 2 days and it's down 4%. I'm wondering if it's setting up again or not. I did leave my floor at 8%. And my girlfriend Susan, when I told her I bought this, she said they had just announced that they issued a bunch of new shares. And so far this stock isn't happy about that. I don't know if the new shares have been priced yet, but that may have an impact on this going up or down. So we'll see what happens with Shockwave Medical. CrowdStrike Holdings. This one also seems to be coming out of a long pattern. I put it on the 1-year chart so you could see what the pattern looked like. It's back to a new high. I also like that this stock just crossed the century mark, just crossed $100. Sometimes a stock has a hard time getting over that, and then once it makes that cross, it keeps going up. So we'll see what happens here. I've held it the 2 days and I'm just up 0.5%. Teladoc, this is another stock that I bought on Thursday. I've held this one 2 days and I'm up 4%. This looks like a happy stock to me. It was up on Friday. It closed towards the top of the range. It had nice volume. And I did leave my floor at 8% because my 31-day exponential moving average is below that point. Every weekend, I review the charts and see if there's a spot for me to raise the floor. Taiwan Semiconductor, stock symbol TSM. I bought this one on Tuesday. Another chip stock consolidating, waiting for it to make a move. I did raise my floor up on this one to the 31-day exponential moving average. I've held it the 4 days and I'm down 1.4%. ResMed, I bought on Thursday. I also have a loss in this stock, 1.3%. I did raise my floor to the 31-day exponential moving average, and this stock is just at a new high or right around the same high it had pre-coronavirus. KLA Corp, stock symbol KLAC. I've held this stock for 3 days and it's down 0.2%. This is a repurchase of a stock that I sold before because I moved my floor up too fast. I thought about moving the floor up slightly to that 31-day exponential moving average, but decided to leave it at 8%. Nvidia, another chip stock. I think it's getting ready to move. I've held it for 1.8 weeks and it's up 2.7%. Stock symbol INMD. I think you say it in mode. I did raise my floor up to the 31-day exponential moving average. This is my least favorite stock. I've held it 3 weeks and it's up 1.8%. I should have sold this earlier. It did drop below the floor that I had at that dashed yellow line, and now I have my floor below that on that dotted yellow line. My B2 sold, so I just have my B1, and I'm sort of waiting to see what this stock is going to do, but I don't like that the 8-day crossed below the 16-day, so I may just take my 1.8% and get out. I don't know. We'll see what this week brings. Don't let a double-digit gain turn into a loss. Livongo Health, stock symbol LVGO. This stock I've held for just about 2 weeks and it's up 17%, which is great. I raised my floor up to the 16-day simple moving average, that green line. The blue line, it would have been too low and I could have taken a loss. I really like that this stock is increasing it in the volume. The volume section is down at the bottom. There's 6 up days in a row, and then 9 of the last 10 days are up in a row, which is really strong. Ping Identity, stock symbol PING. I've held this for 3 weeks and I'm up just about 11%. It made a really nice move up on Thursday with volume, and then Friday it tried to follow that and it couldn't hold. It did close on Friday at the bottom of the range, but it was above the low that Thursday had, so I'm hopeful. Blackline Inc., stock symbol BL. I have 3 buys in this. One I've held for 3.5 weeks and it's up about 14%. One I've held just under 3.5 weeks and it's up 7.6%. And one I've held for 3 weeks and it's up about 5%. I did raise my floor up to the 31-day exponential moving average. I don't like that the 8-day and the 16-day are super close. They're going parallel, and the pink one, the 8-day, is still above the green. I expect the pink line, the 8-day simple moving average, to start going up faster because the last 5 days, this stock has closed above that line. The price on Friday was down, but it was contained within Thursday's price range, which means that's called an inside day. And this is one of the stocks where I'm starting to look at this average weekly gain. So my B1 is at 3.8%. average weekly gain, B2 is at 2.2%, and the B3 is at 1.6% on average per week. Adobe, stock symbol ADBE. This stock's doing really well for me. I did raise my floor up to the 31-day exponential moving average. This stock took a little time getting going when I first bought it, but now it's behaving well. 8 of the last 11 days are up, and it does seem to have increasing volume. I looked at my average weekly gain here, and it's at 2.8% and 3.7%. So I have two buys. My B1 I've held for 7.5 weeks, and it's up 21%. And my B2 I've held for 3 weeks, and it's up 11.2%. I like the concept of adding to a position as it proves itself, but I'm not very good at it, and I didn't do that with any stocks this week. When the floor gets triggered, my stocks sell, but I didn't sell any this week, which is great. The current holding bar chart has one bar for each week that I've held a stock. Over on the left-hand side, you can see that I've held Adobe for 8 weeks or part of 8 weeks. And then black line, 2 over from that, and then grayish color I've held for 4 weeks. The dashed black line is the $10,000 mark, so that's my B1 purchase, which is all that's represented here. If the bar is below that, it means I have a loss in the stock. The yellow line at 9,200 is where I put my 8% floor at. I look at the weekly percentage change and I sort with the losers on the top and the winners on the bottom. Like I said before, I'm not best at spotting the best time to buy a stock, and my new purchases always seem to be in the red for a week or so. All of my new purchases, they just have one box, which represents a week. They're down, all of them except Teladoc and CrowdStrike. And the percentage there is the weekly change unless I've only held it for part of the week, and then it's the change since I purchased the stock. I also take my current dollar gain and sort with the losers on the top. I found it interesting here that I have 5 stocks that are losers up at the top. I have 4 stocks that are between $0 and $1,000, and then I have 4 stocks that have gains of over $1,000. So not bad overall. Let's see if we can get these new stocks moving. The industry breakdown is showing that I'm still just in 3 different industries. These are the same groups that I was in last week, but I have more in each group. And that tiny green line down at the bottom is my cash. So my cash, I only have $595. I have about 40,000 in chip stocks, 41,000 in medical stocks, and 72,000 in software stocks. The benchmark shows the value of my $100,000 after 2 years and 10 weeks. My $100,000 has grown to $154,146 versus the S&P 500 for the same time frame is up to $116,619. I had a nice week from last week, and I'm almost back to the level I was at the week before. Last week was a terrible week. This week I had a $6,200 gain in my existing holdings, and overall my new holdings I'm down $412. The last line in this shows the week ending June 19th. The purple on the left-hand side is the S&P weekly change. The S&P 500 was up 1.9% for the week versus the Melissa method over on the right-hand side up 3.9% this week. And then the yellow down at the bottom, 11% up for the S&P 500 since my experiment started in year 3, mid-April. And the Melissa method is up half of that at 6.5%. So I have a little work to do to beat the S&P 500. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel, The Melissa Method. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.